One does not expect guile from a Stormcast Eternal. Their kind tends to favor the honesty of an open battle. Long parallel lines of warriors marching in unison against their foes. Sword against axe, shield against shield. It was the only thing torrid Flemspew respected about them. They may serve a cowardly god who blinds them to the truth of Grandfather Nurgle, but at least they knew how to fight with honor. But the storm hosts he now faced while marching across Akshar were cowardly wretches. Small teams of guerrilla fighters hitting the flanks of his blessedly diseased army. Either striking with sword swings while riding Griffhound mounts, or piercing it with crossbow bolts while hidden in hard-to-reach terrain. Whenever his army came close enough to striking back, the Stormcast simply ran, scuttling away like Skaven. Normally Torrid would laugh at such tactics. The gifts of the Plague God allowed his servants to take those blows with a hearty laugh and a gentle fart. But the attacks were constant, and as the saying goes, even a grot can fell a giant if it stabs it enough. With the enemy always rushing away before his armies could get a hit in, his warriors were getting disheartened, feelings of failure coating their thoughts like a particularly pernicious fungal rot. Torrid had to do something, or his followers would be broken before they even finished marching across this fire-ravaged wasteland. Leading his men to a large hill that overlooked a plain, he began to climb, leaving his warriors below and eventually reaching the summit. Far below, his soldiers stood in rapt attention, awaiting his words. Once he felt ready, he began to speak, trusting in the blessings of Nurgle to allow his voice to travel across the distance to his awaiting troops.
We were told by those we conquer that these Stormcasts are the living avatars of Sigmar, that they symbolize the honor and nobility of their god. And I will admit, I believe these stories. I led you here to this Nurgle-damned section of Akshai to face these warriors and have an honest battle. And what do we get instead? Gold-plated cowards fighting like Skaven, constantly hitting us and scurrying away. These tactics show cowardice and desperation. It shows that they fear us. Well, they should. For we are the true warriors of the realms. We shall march upon these wretches and show them what it means to fight with honor.
Before Torrid could finish the final word, a bolt entered his mouth, passing through it and stopping at the neck guard that protected the back of his neck. In that instant, Torrid knew he would survive. Although such an attack would be lethal to most, he knew the blessing of Nurgle would protect him. Sadly for Torrid, his attacker knew this as well. Before Torrid could utter a word in thanks to Nurgle, 2 more bolts struck both of his eyes, tearing through and utterly destroying the ball of filthy flesh that comprised his mind. His legs gave out from under him, and his bloated body crashed down the hill towards his shocked followers with an unceremonious splat. Uchali of the Astral Templars rode swiftly on his Mount Featherfang, still laughing to himself at the look of shock from the Rotbringers at the death of their leader. Already hearing the now distant sounds of Blightlords trying and failing to catch up to him, he knew that this blow would be the one to finally break the morale of the disease-worshipping warriors. Although many in other Stormhost chambers would consider such tactics cowardly, Uchali and others in his chamber had no such qualms. For what these tactics lacked in honor, they sure as hell made up for in effectiveness. While other chambers of a Stormhost may face the enemy in open combat, or try to strike them down with torrents of magic, the Stormcast of the Vanguard Auxiliary Chamber strike the enemy where they are most vulnerable. Fiercely independent, they ride into enemy territory without support. looking to strike where the enemy least expects, and hopefully weaken them as their fellows in other chambers finish the job. There is no better warrior to showcase the reclusive nature of the Vanguard than the Vanguard Raptors. Tending to hunt in the mountains of Azir alone, they rarely ever enter the cities, preferring the company of their Etherwing companions, and learning to rely on his or her own wits when necessary. In combat, the Vanguard Raptors utilize one of two forms of crossbow, depending on their preference. Some prefer to strike from a great distance, utilizing a long strike crossbow to get the perfect headshot on an important commander or a particularly annoying soldier. For those who wish to be closer to their melee-focused allies, they utilize hurricane crossbows, capable of laying down suppressing fire to halt the charges of their foes, or rapid fire to simply obliterate them. Every unit of Vanguard Raptors is led by a Raptor Prime, not only proven leaders, but also always accompanied by Aether Wings. Aether Wings, the noble beasts upon which this unit takes their name, are the constant companions of the Vanguard Raptors, whether as watchful guardians to ensure enemies don't strike them unawares, or as swooping hunters that can fly in and out of combat, distracting the enemy while his Stormcast ally goes in for the kill. The Vanguard Hunters are elite veterans of the Vanguard Auxiliary Chamber. Led by a Hunter Prime, they are experts in guerrilla warfare, utilizing the terrain and unconventional tactics to ambush the enemy. Not only are they all naturally skilled as scouts, but a gift from the collegiate arcane called the Astral Compass enhanced the skill to a supernatural degree, a powerful device that allows them to find their way no matter the realm, whether in the magnetic mountains of Shaman or the sensory-altering plains of Ulgo. With such a device, they tirelessly strike down any enemy with their bolt storm pistols, shock hand axes, and storm sabers. On occasion, while on the hunt, a Vanguard Hunter will come to the attention of a Griff Charger, whether that be through chasing after the same beast, or the Griff Charger coming in to aid the Hunter in battle. When this occurs, a bond is formed between the two that turns them into an inseparable and lethal force. Upon Griffhounds, Vanguard Paladors become a rapid attack cavalry, the Griffhound able to ride the wind etheric, the winds of magic itself, to appear where needed in almost a blink of an eye, a powerful if dangerous form of travel. When striking the enemy, they attack with Bolt Storm pistols, Star Strike javelins, and shock hand axes, while the Griffhounds attack with razor beaks and claws. The leader of the Vanguard Paladors, the Palador Prime, carries with him or her a lunar blade, a powerful weapon of supernatural sharpness that can wound the toughest foes with ease. It takes a special kind of soul to become a Lord Aquilar, not only a great commander and keen thinker, but a being able to fight overwhelming odds with few resources, able to use superior tactics to fight guerrilla wars, and do this without the support of other chambers. Those few Stormcasts capable of such feats are charged with leading the Vanguard Auxiliary Chambers into battle, turning this loose amalgamation of independent spirits into a unified fighting force to destroy the enemies of order. These Lords of the Azerite Hurricane can command his troops to strike from places unseen, using his tactical brilliance and his own astral compass to hit the enemy where they least expect. And when in combat, the Lord Aquilar is a terror. Heavy Bolt Storm pistols and Starbound blades shatter foes, while the Griff Charger rips them apart with ethereal strikes from its razor-sharp claws. To be a member of the Vanguard Auxiliary Chamber is to be Sigmar's swift blade, to strike the enemy where they least expect, and end their lives before they can return a single blow. Hey guys, this is Arvandus, and I hope you enjoyed this video about the Vanguard Auxiliary Chamber, the speedsters of the Stormcast Eternals. If you like it, please like, subscribe, and comment. And even press that little bell next to the subscribe button so that you know whenever I post a video. If you really like it, please consider giving to my Patreon. The extra money gives you the time I need to work on these stories that I love. Anyway, thanks for listening, and see you next time.